Hello, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to show you guys how to do a rose, with a stem. So I'm going to show you how to do the rose, how to make the sepal, and how to make the stem. Okay, so for this project you will need some yarn, and today I'm using Red Heart Super Saver, and the ply is 4. But you can use any type of yarn that you like, and then you'll just use the hook that corresponds with the yarn, and it will tell you all that on the actual package. Okay, you'll need a wire, a garden wire, or a pipe cleaner. You'll also need some green stem wrap, flower wrap. You can get this from your local florist or craft shop. Pair of scissors, a glue gun, and a tapestry needle. Okay, so we'll start with making the rose, and we do that by chaining 66. I have done a video on making a rose, but I'll go ahead and just do this for you guys today. So we're going to start by grabbing the end of the yarn and cross over, and we're going to make a slip knot. Pinch where the two pieces meet, twist once, grab that hanging yarn and pull through, and that's your slip knot. And then you'll attach your hook. So we're going to go ahead and chain 66. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll go ahead and chain 66, and I'll meet you right back here when I'm done. Okay? Now here we have a chain of 66, and this will form your foundation chain. The next step we'll be moving on to is row 1, and what you're going to do is skip the first 5 chains and do a double crochet in the 6th chain. So make sure you count how many chains you have to ensure that you do have 66. And then we're going to skip 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and do a double crochet in the 6th chain. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a double crochet in that 6th chain from the hook. And you're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and in that next chain you're going to do another double crochet. And you're going to chain 2 and do a double crochet in the same space. you're going to skip 2. In that next, you do a double crochet, chain 2, and then double crochet in that same space. Skip 2, in that next chain, a double crochet, chain 2, and a double crochet in that same space. Skip 2, 1, 2, a double crochet in that next chain, chain 2, and a double crochet in that same space or chain. So I'm going to go ahead and continue until I finish the line. I will meet back here when I'm almost done, and I'll show you how to finish this row and turn your work. Okay, so if you did your count correctly, you should have multiples of 3 left as you go along. So right now we've got 6 chains left, and I'll do the final 2 V's to end this row. Okay, so you'll skip 2, 1, 2, and place a double crochet in that next stitch, chain 2, and place another double crochet in that same stitch. So we're left with 1, 2, 3 chains left right at the end. We're going to skip 2, that's 1, 2, and we're going to place a double crochet in that last chain, chain 2, and a double crochet in that same stitch. So we've completed our row. Okay. So we're going to move on to row 2, and we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to turn our work. So that's our chain 3, and we're going to do in that first V, you're going to put a double crochet. And then you're going to chain 3, that's chain 3, and 2 double crochets in that same V space. That's 1 and 2. So that first 3, chain 3, will count as a double crochet. So we have 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, a space, then another double crochet and another double crochet. And we'll do the same again in the next V space. So that's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 3, and 2 more double crochets. And the next V, we're going to do the same. 2 double crochets. Sorry, I messed that one up. I'll just do it again. Two double crochets. Okay. I've done one, and I'll do the next. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and 2 more double crochets in that same V space. I'll do one more, and then I'll continue until I've almost reached the end. Then I'll show you how to finish the row and turn our work. Chain 3 here, and 2 more double crochets in that same V space. So that's what your work should be looking like. I'll meet back here when we're almost finished this row. As you can see, I have completed most of the row. I've got only 2 V's left, and usually I would stop at this last V, but I usually add an additional set right at the end just to give me an extra petal, and just to allow the flower to have a little bit more body to it. So usually it would have been 20 sets, but this one will make it 21. So we'll go ahead and finish off the last few. So we add 2 double crochets into that V space, chain 3, and 2 double crochets in that same space. 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, chain 3, and 2 double crochets in that same space. And I'll finish off just in that little loop there. I'll do another set, of 2 double crochets, and 2, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and 2 more double crochets. So we've completed the entire row. What we're going to do now is chain 1 and turn your work. Then you're going to add 7 double crochets in that chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. In that next space just here, you're going to slip stitch, and then you're going to add 7 double crochets in the next chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. You want to count and make sure you have all 7. I ended up with 8. I'll just get rid of that. And if you make mistakes, you can just pull that out and continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you're going to do the same again. You're going to slip stitch in that space right next to the chain 3 space. So we'll just do a slip stitch right there, and there you have your first 2 petals. Okay. Then I'm going to do 7 double crochets in this chain 3 space, which is right next to that space we've just put that slip stitch in. And then we're going to continue this pattern until we've finished the row. Okay, so I'll meet you back here when we've almost finished the row, and I'll show you how to tie off and complete the row. Okay, so here we are at the end of the row. I'm just going to finish off and I'll tie off, and then we can start wrapping the rows. Okay, so we'll slip stitch into that next space. I will do our final 7 double crochets in that chain 3 space. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And then we will slip stitch just in that chain space just at the end there. And what I like to do before I finish, I like to do a chain to tie off, and we'll just cut that end there and then pull tight. So now we have our completed 3rd row. So what I like to do before I start wrapping is just to ensure that both my ends are laying like this, and then I start to just fold the rows together. At this point I'd like to secure the rows, so I'm just going to use one of the ends and stitch back and forth on here. Okay, so I get my tapestry needle and I'll just start sewing this end in. So I'll turn the rows upside down and I'll just start weaving back and forth. Back and forth. And continue wrapping the rows. Let's try to get it as neat as possible. And I'll continue weaving this bit in. And I tend to just go from one side to the next until I have very little end left. I'm going to try and get this end in. So I do that bit there, and I'm left with just a tiny piece. Now what I tend to do is just hide it in the middle there. And I continue wrapping the rows. And now just get my tapestry needle once again and weave in this end. And I'll do that by just going back and forth until I'm all done. Tend to go straight for the end of the rows there and secure that end. I'll do that by just going along the edge. Just going along the edge here. So we're just going to continue weaving in these ends, and we're securing the end of this fold here. And I'll just go back down and then I'll be going back and forth as I did before. Just ensuring that the rose is all secure. Then we'll just pull on it just a tad bit, and then cut. And there we have our rows. So now we're going to put the rows together, but first we need to crochet this sepal. So what we need for our sepal is some green yarn and our crochet hook. I'm using a size 4.5. We're going to make a magic circle. And I have a video, and I'll put it in the description box, on how to make a magic circle. I'm just going to run through this. And within the magic circle, I'm going to chain one. Before we start in the magic circle, we'll chain one. And we'll do 5 half double crochets within the circle. And a half double crochet, last one. Last 2. Last 3. That's 4. And that's 5. So that's 5 half double crochet. And then we're going to close this ring by pulling on the end. And then we're going to slip stitch to join. So we just insert our hook into that first stitch. I'm just making sure I have all 5, and slip stitch to join that circle. And when you slip stitch, you should still end up with 5, not counting just there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 chains around that circle. Then I'm going to chain 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we're going to skip the first chain and do a single crochet in the next 5 stitches. So skip that one, go into the next one, one single crochet, next one, one single crochet, next one single crochet, next a single crochet, and next one a single crochet. And you're going to do a single crochet into the next stitch on the circle, and then chain 6. You do the same again, skip the first chain and do a single crochet in the next 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So a single crochet in the next stitch on the circle and chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you're going to continue, skip one and do a single crochet into the next 5 stitches until you've completed the entire row, the entire circle. So I'll meet you back here when we're all done, and I'll show you how to finish off. So here we are, we're at our last chain on the circle. So we do a single crochet into that last chain, and then we'll chain 6, we'll skip the first chain, do a single crochet in the next 5 chains, and then we'll just slip stitch into that first chain 6 that we did. Slip stitch and just bring that out a little bit. And you need a very long end because we're going to use some of this yarn to wrap around the wire. Okay, so just be careful not to cut that's your starting end, and that's your yarn. Just cut here. And then pull that through and tie that off. So you end up with 5 little columns, if you may, and that's our sepal. Now we're going to try and join the sepal together with the flower and make our stem. So what I tend to do is I look for the right side and I'll put the right side showing, and I'll take my wire and I'll bend it in two. Just want to see how long this wire is. This wire is approximately 15.5 inches. So we're going to bend that wire in two as evenly as possible. And let's put the sepal down for 1 second. Just in the middle or the center, just find the center of the flower, and I'll try to put each end of the stem on either side of the flower. That's a good position, and if this one, place it just on the other side of that. And just adjust it so that it's nice and even and won't show. And then we do the same with our sepal. I'll just place it on either side. And just adjust as much as possible to keep it center. Then I'll take my tapestry needle and thread this yarn, because I'm going to just weave it in slightly, because I'm going to wrap it around the wire. And I'll do the same with this end. and just weave that in nearer to the wire. And I'll just wrap that around just at the base. And I'll do the same with this end. And you notice one's shorter than the other, but that's fine. We'll just wrap it as much as possible. Then we'll move on to our garden tape or stem tape. And what I tend to do is to push that down a bit. I'm going to bring the two wires together and I'm going to twist. And what that does, it just covers the wire at the base, so you won't be seeing the wire as much. And this doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to cover it with the tape, but as neat as possible. And then what we're going to do with these pieces is just wrap them around. You can wrap that short piece in. And I'll just continue back up the stem. Okay. And what I do with the tape is where that yarn ends, I'll start there, so that will hold it in place. Now the stem tape, sometimes you'll feel as if it's not sticky, but it does stick to itself. So if you just slightly pull on it to get a nice cover around the stem, and especially at the base. And just continue wrapping as much as possible. All the way down to the end. And sometimes what I do is just wrap that end a couple more times, and then I make my way back up, and I'll probably stop somewhere in the middle. I'll just cut this tape and finish off. Now I'm going to use my glue gun, and I'm going to just put a small amount just between the flower and the sepal here and here and here on all 5 places, and then we'll meet back here when I'm all done. So here we have our complete flower with sepal and stem. Now you can see that I've used the glue gun and just attached the sepal to the petals of the flower all around, and that's it, all done. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you like my video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the box below. Stay blessed and thank you for watching. Bye.